We are often told AI is a magic box. You type in a passing thought, and out pops a masterpiece. But if you actually use these tools daily, you know the reality. It behaves a lot more like a volatile slot machine. To get a reliable, consistent result every single time, you have to stop being a passive requester pulling a lever and start acting like a systems director. There is a hidden cost to that control. Across every generative platform, getting exactly what you want requires a massive upfront investment in structural effort and endless rounds of testing. To see if that effort is worth your time, we'll evaluate 3 tiers of AI control. This chart plots surgical control against friction and cost. We must weigh the mental tax, hours spent, and compute power against the final output's quality. Your optimal AI workflow depends on the specific level of technical friction you are willing to endure. Let's look at the baseline level of control: text generation. By default, if you type a simple question into a large language model, you get a generic, highly recognizable AI response. To force a targeted, expert-level output, you need a structured approach. One effective method is Dave Burse's Create framework. By setting specific constraints, like outlining exact adjustments and defining the type of output, you box the model in, preventing it from using lazy default weights. There is a tax here. Drafting a framework-based prompt increases your initial writing time by roughly 300%. While the initial prompt takes longer, it prevents the model from generating the filler and errors that usually consume the revision phase. This is a low-friction, high-granularity trade-off. It requires zero specialized hardware and costs nothing extra out of pocket. For almost all daily task-based AI users, mastering text frameworks delivers the highest overall return on investment. Visual generation introduces a much steeper curve. Forcing an AI model to respect exact structural references while applying a new style requires intense iteration. Accessing Midjourney V7's personalization requires ranking roughly 200 image pairs. With these preferences established, you use the image weight parameter to dictate the ratio of visual adherence to text interpretation. Finding the perfect balance is highly manual, requiring iterative batch testing across incremental weight changes. The hidden cost of this iteration is high. You burn through your subscription generation credits and valuable GPU time just trying to locate that visual sweet spot. Omni-reference features stack the complexity even higher, forcing you to assign differential weights to primary images versus supplementary ones. This middle tier of friction is dense, but it represents the absolute minimum requirement for marketers attempting to maintain strict brand consistency across campaigns. The highest tier of control strips away the user-friendly interface entirely. Achieving true, repeatable subject consistency across different image generations requires building node-based workflows. The upfront inputs here are massive. You have to install Comfy UI, dedicate significant local VRAM, and navigate strict commercial license limits for libraries like InsightFace. This matrix maps the face swap showdown data, hardware demands versus output quality. Instant ID achieves the highest total score, 38. But its extreme resource intensity crashes lower-end systems. Conversely, Pulid boasts the lowest hardware demand, but penalizes users with poor facial similarity, scoring 25. Face ID sits in the middle with a score of 30, serving as the functional compromise bridging the gap between hardware limitations and acceptable visual fidelity. And that is just for the face. Combining these tools with IP adapter and ControlNet for full-body consistency requires wiring highly complex visual programming interfaces. Achieving true pixel-perfect control means abandoning simple web prompts completely. You pay a massive tax in both hardware investments and node management skills. Output consistency correlates directly with technical cost. The tighter your grip on AI, the heavier the tooling. Efficiency seekers stop at Tier 1. The ROI for learning complex nodes is negative. Production optimizers live in Tier 2, using batch testing without local software. For power users, Tier 3 is mandatory to justify the cost required for pixel-perfect commercial consistency. Resist the temptation to over-engineer daily workflows simply because advanced, highly technical tools are available online. The ultimate skill in modern AI is knowing how to match the friction of the underlying tools directly to the stakes of your specific project. Spending 3 hours managing node connections for a single casual social media post is a failure of resource allocation. Stop relying on the unpredictable defaults of the magic box. Choose your friction level actively and take control of your process.